We have all heard this phrase. We print it on t-shirts, we say it as a joke, but have you ever stopped to truly understand the horror hidden inside those three words? If ignorance is bliss, then what is intelligence? If not knowing is happiness, then knowing must be torture. Look at the history of the human race. Look at the people we call geniuses, the visionaries, the poets, the philosophers, Hemingway, Van Gogh, Woolf, Nietzsche, Cobain. Almost all of them lived in a state of profound internal torment. Many of them ended their own lives. Ernest Hemingway once wrote, "Happiness in intelligent people is the rarest thing I know." Why? Why does a high IQ, which is supposed to be a gift, feel so heavy? Why is it that the more you understand about the world, the harder it becomes to live in it? You are watching this video because you feel this. You have felt it your whole life. You walk into a room and you don't just see a party. You see the social masks, you see the insecurity in people's eyes, you see the temporary nature of the laughter, you see the mechanics of the matrix while everyone else is just enjoying the steak. You're not crazy. You're not broken. You're simply awake. For the next hour, we are going to dissect the curse of awareness. We are going to explore why your brain refuses to let you be happy, why you feel alienated from society, and most importantly, how to carry this burden without being crushed by it. This is not a motivational video. This is a diagnosis. Let's begin with the biology of intelligence. What is intelligence, really? It isn't just being good at math or remembering facts. Intelligence is pattern recognition. It is the ability to see connections that others miss. It is the ability to simulate the future based on the data of the present. Imagine two people walking down a street. Person A, let's call him the happy simpleton, walks down the street. He sees the sun. He sees a pretty car. He thinks about what he will eat for dinner. His world is low resolution. It is simple. He is happy. Now imagine person B, you. You walk down the same street, you see the sun, but you also notice the smog in the air. You see the pretty car, but you analyze the debt the driver likely took to buy it to impress people he doesn't like. You see a homeless man, and your mind instantly runs a simulation of the socioeconomic failure that led him there. You look at the cracks in the pavement and think about the decay of infrastructure. In the span of 10 seconds, person A had one thought, you had 50. This is the high-resolution lens. To be intelligent is to see the world in 4K resolution, while everyone else sees it in 480p. Seeing in 4K is beautiful, yes, but it also means you see every flaw, every crack, every lie. You cannot unsee it. You cannot turn your brain off. This is why intelligent people often struggle with sleep. The brain's a machine that doesn't have an off switch. It is constantly processing data, constantly predicting threats, constantly analyzing the past. Evolution did not design you to be happy. It designed you to survive. And for a smart brain, survival means constantly looking for what is wrong. The curse of the intelligent mind is that it is obsessed with the negative because the negative is where the danger is. So, while your friends are laughing at a simple joke, you are sitting there, smiling politely. But inside, your mind is dissecting the dynamics of the group, wondering why we need validation, and thinking about the inevitable heat death of the universe. It is exhausting, isn't it? Being the only sober person in a drunk world. This leads us to the second layer of the curse, loneliness. There's a very specific type of loneliness that smart people feel. It is not the loneliness of being alone in a room. It is the loneliness of being in a room full of people, and feeling like you're a different species. Small talk, the weather, the celebrity gossip, the football game. For most people, this conversation is comforting. It is a social glue. For you, it feels like physical pain. You crave depth. You want to talk about death, about the universe, about why we are here, about the nature of consciousness. But if you bring these topics up at a dinner party, people look at you like you're crazy. They get uncomfortable. They say, you think too much, or why are you so serious? So you learn to wear a mask. You learn to dumb yourself down. You nod. You smile. You pretend to care about the trivial things. But every time you do this, a little part of you dies. You feel like an actor on a stage, reading a script written for idiots. This creates a profound sense of isolation. You start to think, is there anyone else out there like me? Or am I just a freak? And here's the cruel irony. Intelligent people are often the most empathetic. You understand human nature better than anyone. You understand why people are the way they are. But because you understand them, you also see through them. You see the lies they tell themselves. You see their insecurities masked as arrogance. It's hard to connect with someone when you can see the strings pulling their puppet limbs. The higher your IQ, the smaller your pool of potential partners and friends becomes. It is a statistical tragedy. If you are in the top 2% of intelligence, that means 98% of the people you meet will not be able to meet you on your level. You are searching for a diamond in a mountain of coal, and digging is dirty, lonely work. But the isolation is only the surface of the problem. If we dig deeper, we find something far more dangerous. We find the paralysis of potential. Let's talk about your childhood for a moment. If you are listening to this, you were probably told from a very young age that you were gifted. You were told you had potential. Teachers praised you. Parents showed you off. You were the kid who learned to read early, the kid who solved the puzzle while the other children were eating the pieces. This sounded like a compliment, but actually it was a trap. When you are told you are special, you develop a terrified fear of failure. If you're the smart kid, then making a mistake isn't just a mistake. It is an identity crisis. It means you are a fraud. So what do? You stop taking risks. You stop playing games where you might lose. This leads to the analyzer's paralysis. Think about the structure of success in the modern world. Who usually succeeds? Is it the genius who sees every possible outcome? Or is it the blind optimist who just charges forward? Let's imagine a scenario. You want to start a business, or write a book, or ask someone out on a date. Your high IQ brain immediately goes to work. It runs the simulation. What if the economy crashes? What if the market isn't ready? What if she says no, and it ruins the friendship? What if I spend 2 years writing this book and nobody reads it? You see 10 steps ahead. You see the pitfalls, you see the pain, you see the statistical probability of failure, which is usually high. And because you see the danger so clearly, you freeze. You do nothing. You stay in the safe zone. You stay in the job you hate because it is logical. Now look at the fool. The fool doesn't see the danger. He doesn't know the statistics. He has an idea and he just does it. He jumps off the cliff and builds the plane on the way down. Most of the time he crashes, but sometimes he flies. And you are left standing on the edge of the cliff, watching him fly, holding your brilliant, complex, unused plans in your hands. This is the curse. Intelligence creates doubt. Ignorance creates confidence. As Charles Bukowski famously said, the problem with the world is that the intelligent people are full of the doubts, while the stupid ones are full of confidence. You are stuck in the waiting room of life. You are waiting until you have all the information. You are waiting until the plan is perfect. You are waiting until the risk is zero. But the risk is never zero, so you wait forever. And while you wait, you watch people half as smart as you surpass you, not because they are better, but because they were too stupid to be afraid. And then comes the darkest part of the curse. The existential vacuum, the why. A simple mind is satisfied with simple answers. Why do we work? To get money. Why do we live? To have fun. What happens when we die? And we go to heaven. Simple. Clean. Comforting. But you cannot accept the simple answers. You poke holes in them. You look at the concept of a career, and you see it as a modern slavery. You look at the concept of fame, and you see it as a desperate cry for validation from strangers. You look at the concept of legacy, and you realize that in 1 billion years, the sun will explode and swallow the earth, and nothing anyone ever did will matter. This is nihilism. It is the inevitable conclusion of a hyperactive logical mind. If you analyze anything long enough, it loses its meaning. If you say the word love over and over again, it becomes just a sound. If you analyze life over and over again, it becomes just a biological accident. You have deconstructed the world to find the truth, but now you are sitting in the rubble. You have taken the clock apart to see how it works, but now you can't put it back together and you don't know what time it is. This is why you are tired. You are not tired from physical labor. You are tired from the weight of existence. You are carrying the universe in your head every single day. You look at people laughing at a cafe, talking about a TV show, and you feel a strange mix of emotions. You feel superior to them, yes. But you also feel jealous. You envy their ability to just be, to just exist without questioning the nature of existence. You're like a diver who went too deep. You saw the beautiful, terrifying creatures at the bottom of the ocean. You saw the truth. But now, you are struggling to swim back up to the surface where the air is. You are drowning in your own depth. And let's talk about the imposter syndrome. This is the secret that all intelligent people share, but nobody talks about. The more you know, the more you realize how much you don't know. A stupid person learns one fact and thinks he is an expert. This is called the Dunning-Kruger effect. But you learn 1,000 facts and you realize you have barely scratched the surface. You look at the library of human knowledge and you feel tiny. You feel stupid. So when people praise you, when they call you smart, you feel like a liar. You think, if they only knew how confused I really am. If they only knew that I am just winging it. You live in constant fear of being found out, so you hide. You stay quiet in meetings. You don't publish your art. You don't share your theories, because your standard for good is so impossibly high that nothing you do can ever reach it. Perfectionism is just procrastination in a fancy suit, and for the intelligent mind, perfectionism is a straitjacket. So here you are, 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling, alone with a brain that runs at 1,000 miles per hour, processing regrets from 10 years ago and fears for 10 years in the future. You have the engine of a Ferrari, but you are stuck in traffic. Is this it? Is this the price of admission? Are we doomed to suffer just because we understand? The answer is no. But the way out is not to go back to sleep. You cannot make yourself stupid again. You cannot unlearn the truth. The only way out is through. We have spent the last 20 minutes diagnosing the disease. We have stared into the abyss. But looking into the abyss is easy. The hard part, the brave part, is building a bridge over it. In the next chapter, we are going to talk about the alchemist. We are going to talk about how to take this lead, this heavy, dark awareness, and turn it into gold. We are going to talk about how the greatest minds in history saved themselves from madness, and how you can too. But first, I want you to take a breath, a real breath, because what I am about to tell you requires you to let go of your ego. So here we are. We have diagnosed the disease. We know why you are suffering, but the question remains, how do you survive having a mind that wants to eat itself? You cannot lobotomize yourself. You cannot go back to being person A. And once you have seen the Matrix, you cannot unsee it. The only way out is deeper. You must stop treating your intelligence as a burden and start treating it as a weapon. And this is a concept in psychology called sublimation. It is the art of taking your internal chaos and turning it into external order. Look at the artists, the writers, the scientists I mentioned earlier. Yes, they suffered, but they took that suffering and they built something with it. They didn't just sit in the dark and think, they created. Your anxiety is simply unspent creative energy. It is fuel. If you leave fuel in a tank and light a match, it explodes and destroys the car. But if you put that fuel in an engine, it drives you forward. You are miserable because you are consuming, not creating. You're using your high IQ brain to analyze the world instead of changing it. You need a project. You need a mission that is difficult enough to demand all your mental processing power. When you are obsessed with a problem, coding an app, writing a novel, building a body, solving a crisis, your brain stops attacking you and starts attacking the problem. Secondly, you must make peace with your solitude. Stop trying to fit in with the happy simpletons. You are an eagle trying to walk with pigeons, and you wonder why you are clumsy. You were not made to walk. You were made to fly. And eagles fly alone. Accept that you will be misunderstood. Accept that you are different. In that acceptance, you will find a strange kind of peace. You will stop performing. You will stop pretending. And ironically, once you stop trying so hard to fit in, you will attract the few other aliens who are just like you. Do not envy the ignorant. Their happiness is fragile. It breaks the moment reality hits them. Your happiness will be different, it will be harder to find, yes, but it will be real. It will be built on truth, not comfortable lies. Do not envy the ignorant. Their happiness is fragile. It breaks the moment reality hits them. Your happiness will be different. It will be harder to find, yes, but it will be real. It will be built on truth, not comfortable lies. This is your burden, but it is also your gift. The world is burning. It is chaotic. It needs people who can see the cracks. It needs people who can see the future. It needs you. So wake up. Stop analyzing the cliff. Jump.